Hello everyone, my name is the Minor Fellowship and welcome back to another episode of Hearts of Iron 4 Millennium Dawn. My name is the Minor Fellowship, obviously, and yeah, this video will be a voiceover of the last episode I had just posted to YouTube. Due to unforeseen circumstances, for some reason, the microphone didn't pick up, and I do apologize for that. I want to say that completely flat out at the start of this video. I do apologize for that. I did check the microphone. Everything seemed fine. I just don't know why it didn't pick up the audio. So yeah, without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and press play on the video that some of you have watched, and then I will go over everything that has happened. So basically, everything in this episode was leading up to the fact that we were going to invade the United States, hopefully. And in the last episode, you could all see that I took over the African front, as I'm showing here. We completely took it over. We won't have to worry about the naval invasion, I don't believe, just due to the fact we saved Liberia and everything like that. We island hopped our way over to Cuba. Hopefully in this video, I was kind of hoping that we were going to be taking Cuba. Obviously, it didn't really work out like that. We actually planned something way huger. So anyway, with the finishing of the Africa campaign, we were able to get all of our divisions kind of open. And I was also taking a look at the island up there off the east coast of the United States. It's the Bermuda Island. And that is obviously going to be the naval invasion target in the future of this episode. If anyone knows what the ceasefire decision does, let me know in the comments below. I was taking a look at it. I didn't know exactly if that gave us the lands we already took or anything like that. So please let me know in the comments below if you do know. And let's see here. We were looking at the ciphers, just kind of browsing about what kind of things we have going on. China took over Japan, as I had stated in the last episode. They learned from the Sino-Japanese War, and they turned the tables here. We were looking at the war between China and India. It looked like China gained a little bit of land, but not enough to make a significant push or anything like that. Excuse me, guys. So, I believe in this episode, we're going to be trying to take the rest of these islands around San Juan. And I do actually send my Red Army over there, all my motorized divisions and everything like that, over there just so they can try to push for those little tiny islands. And hopefully give us more wiggle room in terms of operating in the Caribbean. But let's see. I know that little enemy in the non-aligned territory, it really tricks me sometimes that I think we've been naval invaded or, dropped behind enemy lines, if you will. And also, what I've noticed, and the problem, I guess, maybe I'll kind of highlight it with my mouse or anything, but we have that problem where the American Navy is completely in the Caribbean, like 100%. They will not let me do anything in the Caribbean, which sucks. So we had to look for another target. In this case, it was Bermuda. But as you can see here, we're trying to make a breakthrough on Christiansted. Trying to destroy the two tanks just because they're such low supply, and we can outnumber them with numbers and hopefully ruin their organization. And you'll notice my infantry division are not doing a fantastic job of pushing. That's because they're not really focused on piercing their tanks or anything like that. And you'll see that once I send my the Red Army, the mechanized, the motorized, and that kind of stuff, you'll see them do a whole lot more damage to the tanks. And we still have the army, obviously, in Germany, just in case there is a problem in the future where we need to capitalize and destroy a naval invasion. And like I said, you're going to see here just a second, when they do get into the battle, they have a really good attack. Like, the attack bonus against them is pretty decent against the tanks. And I've also noticed in the island next to Charlotte, not Christiansted, but the other one, there's just so many divisions, and they just stopped attacking. They're never going to attack again. Who knows why? Maybe our defense is just that great. We do try to make a push on that place, though, and then I'll show you exactly. Hopefully I'll show you the attack. Okay, so you can see it for a split second. It's 220, 300. The attack is great, and that is exactly what we need going up against these tanks. And obviously, going up against these little tiny islands, they're going to be what's what I'm looking for? Encircled. They're already encircled. So really, we're hoping to kill off a couple divisions, kind of make it harder for the United States to recuperate from this. So let's see. And also, I just want to point out as well, the Air Force is not great for us, to be honest. We could have a way better Air Force and also a Navy. But all we need for it to do is get the job done. And obviously, we're so low on guns, we're so low on everything else that we really need the military factories. We really need to build up. However, I didn't expect us to go to war this quick against basically NATO. But it's kind of working out for us in a way. Japan has fallen. We've taken over France. We've taken over United Kingdom, and hopefully the United States soon. So you could see here, I'm trying to set up a naval invasion. Going to Bermuda is where I'm going to select my target, just due to the fact that it's so close to the United States, and that's obviously a port that they can use. And at this point, we're trying to dodge the American Navy. We're trying to find another route that we could take to kind of go around the Caribbean, I guess you could say. So as you can see, I'm still looking at the stats of the battle, just trying to see. And then you can obviously tell from Christianstead that the organization of the troops that are in that location, in that port, is slowly dwindling. So at this point, we have our units basically killing off their divisions. I'm only sending 2 divisions on this naval invasion, just due to the fact I don't want to send everyone, especially if we can't land. And if we can land and there's no one there, then 2 divisions is enough, obviously. So I was trying to find my Navy for the longest time. I just couldn't remember where I put it. And then I found it. Yeah, I found it over in Curacao. I could have sworn I put it in the Africa campaign, so when we did our naval invasion, we could get in there. But I was wrong. So we sent our Navy over to that port where we're going to be launching the naval invasion, just so we have that kind of area. And as well, when I was planning the naval invasion, I was really worried that part of it was going to go through the Caribbean, and then we'd be screwed, pretty much. And you can see here, I was trying to figure out exactly where I should land. I was thinking somewhat in Florida, like in Miami and that kind of stuff. And I was also thinking in South Carolina. And of course, as the video states, I did land in South Carolina. But we'll get to that in a bit. So as you can see here, I've got a research slot. I'm trying to figure out exactly what I can research without going too ahead of time. And I felt that kind of researching a Navy, I was trying to look for something that kind of gave us a buff in their Navy without having it be a built-on part of the ship. And then aircraft as well I was looking at. But I wanted to do something that was not so ahead of penalty and that would be beneficial to us at this time. And you could see my mouse kind of hover over those little icons because I couldn't see past the satellite requests from China. And also, you'll notice that it'll pop up eventually, but France also raised their autonomy a level, and they're going for freedom as well. So we also need to decide exactly how we're going to deal with them. Should we annex them? Should we just kind of leave them be for now? And etc. Let's see. So yeah, we're looking at the organization. We're drastically trying to watch the organization just disappear. And you'll notice that this one takes so long to dwindle down the organization. And we also see Romania declare war on Yugoslavia, which I thought was interesting. That the little AI is doing their own little conquests, I guess. And I was trying to see if I could invite any of them to the faction, even though it probably wouldn't have been a good idea at all. But let's see. Yeah, okay, so you're going to see the organization's getting low. And you're going to see this one disappear, but you're going to see how quickly the organization of the other one falls. Because there's only that one division. I was waiting for my guy to I was waiting for myself to hover over it. Okay, yeah, you see how it rapidly just started going down. And see, our naval invasion should be ready. But we put the thing on strike force, and we did it only in the places we needed to. And that was around the Caribbean. No ships were there or anything like that. So it was perfect. And the naval invasion has launched. And we will see the fall of Bermuda here in a second. Again, we also got another research slot. We just finished the nuclear warhead, the 20 kiloton. So I think we're gonna go. Yep, we're gonna go ahead and do the 30 kiloton. And we actually do manage to take Christianstead here in a second. And as you can see, I'm kind of doing the basics of how to build the nuclear weapons. And I was kind of looking at the nuclear doctrine. But when we go over to the Missile Launch Control Center and the Missile tab, which is the next, missile production, when I go over there. Okay, so then I can actually start producing the ICBMs. I decide to make 2 of them, and it'll take 60 days. So... I used 2 civilian factories for 60 days. But there you go, Christianstead falls. We go back into Charlotte, Emily. And we will see, hopefully. I don't think we actually take that province that we're taking right now. But we're going to take a look at our Bermuda invasion. And it keeps saying that there's a naval invasion being planned or, kind of worrisome. But we actually don't see them naval invade anytime soon. Okay, and as you can see, we're naval invading Bermuda. It's actually going very well for us. They only had that kind of 1 division there, or I think 1 division, and we were able to take it out pretty easily. I'm really trying to remember if we did take that island. I can't remember exactly. But yes, like I said, we do land in Bermuda perfectly. But they also have that British Antilles. I probably just butchered the name of that, but British Antilles, they have troops there. I know they do. They have like at least 1 or 2. We did take Bermuda here, as you can see, and no, we just there was no point in me trying to push that tile, especially when they were just gonna reinforce it, just continuously. So here's when I started looking towards the east coast of the United States, but I was also trying to look at Cuba because I was trying to plan my way around their navy and that kind of stuff, and I was trying to look for locations that maybe would be a good spot to take. And I thought, you know what, if I land in the East Coast and I'm only going to send 2 divisions, there's probably a good chance that we won't land or anything like that, and that's even okay. It doesn't even matter if we land. We were, like I said, right here we were looking at invading Cuba, but I was like, if we naval invade the United States, chances are pretty good we're not going to land. I mean, they're going to have troops on every single port. They're going to, I don't know, they're just going to be protected. They're going to have all their divisions at home. And I guess I should have thought of that, but they don't. And we actually send a 3rd division over to the naval invasion site, and we sent all 3 of them in the naval invasion against the United States. You'll see that here in a second. We choose Jacksonville as our target. And you can see that me in the game, I'm trying to process exactly where I should land, and that kind of stuff as well. All right, let's see. He's going to select Jacksonville. Yep, there you go. All right, and then we're going to send one of the divisions over on top, like right above Jacksonville. And I think we also send one below it, just so we can have that we can encircle the port if necessary. And again, I wasn't really worried about losing 2 or 3 divisions, especially since it came to the United States basically being naval invaded. I mean, it's for the greater good, in all honesty. That kind of tests the waters in terms of if we can even land in the United States. So I move my navy over to the eastern seaboard. That way I'm getting strike force in the area around Bermuda and the area around the east coast of the United States. I just researched the ICBM, the next tier up. And again, I keep checking that naval invasion because you never know. And then there goes the message with France asking to increase their autonomy. So, yeah, and then I saw that they were doing the focus to increase their autonomy. So we also need to decide exactly how we are going to deal with France in the upcoming episodes. And And I just wanted to double check that Poland wasn't doing that as well. But we honestly did reduce autonomy in Poland just because we had the political power, and just because, uh, why not? Just in case they had any ideas. We were looking at all of the decisions we can do, and then I thought, well, if I do the claim rightful territory of Austria, do I just get the cores? Because they don't exist. So I did it in the hopes that it'll give us the cores on everything, and we won't have to do anything else after that. And that that gives us more manpower and everything like that. So we launched the naval invasion into the United States. I almost called the Americas, but we're already in the Americas. And we were going to send our Air Force over there. I thought maybe if we launched them to Bermuda, they could reach, but they definitely cannot. Which is a shame. We would like to have the air support over the eastern United States, but that's okay. So the naval invasion is getting closer and closer. They didn't have anything, and I saw the one in Virginia Beach, and I was like, oh no. But they actually did have no troops. Sorry, I cannot speak today. They had no troops in Jacksonville, which means we just got a free port in the United States. So I had them spread out just a little bit, and I sent our mechanized army. We probably could have taken that next location, but we sent them over to the United States, where we just made the naval invasion, just because of the fact that that they're going to be definitely helpful in that. And as you can see, I'm kind of trying to play defensively. I don't want to push too far, just because I know that they probably have tons and tons of troops. And I wanted to play it safe. And I wanted to at least wait until our advanced troops, our mechanized, motorized, that kind of stuff, I wanted to wait till they at least got there before I started making aggressive pushes. And as you can see, I just researched fuel gain per oil. We don't really have that problem, but at this point we're just trying to pick things for research that may help us in the long run. And of course, I send over my infantry division just to kind of help out. And we have our first mechanized division arriving in the United States. So we go ahead and try to take the airport. And the reason why I do this is because I want to move my Air Force over there, so that at least they can get some air XP, and I can at least provide some close air support for my friends in the United States. No, but once my Red Army got there, I was able to, start trying to maneuver my way around, try to encircle as much as possible. And I forgot I actually moved my Air Force already. But I moved them over to Raleigh in South Carolina. Actually, I think that's North Carolina. Yeah, that's North Carolina. My bad. All right, so let's see here. And now this whole segment coming up is just tons and tons of, what's it called? Microing. And this is just because, at this point, I'm just trying to get as many kills as I can, because I'm waiting for the huge horde of the United States to hit me like a truck. And the way I saw it, I didn't really have to worry about protecting those islands, because in my mind, protecting those islands isn't as important as invading the United States right now. So we have labor unions demand pay increases. We're trying to see if we should side with the business, the unions, or neither. We obviously ultimately decide to side with the businesses, just because it gives us gives more groups of people support for me, and influence. And I lose, 100 political power. I don't really need more political power, to be honest with you. So it didn't really strike me as a bad thing necessarily, just because we were losing just political power. And of course, I didn't realize that the Red Army was also trying to still attack that place, so I wasn't aware that they weren't even coming over. And as you can see, we're trying to make a breakthrough so that we can encircle this one tank division over next to Greenville. But we were trying to look at their army, and they only had 49 divisions, which I was very surprised, because good chances are, well, there's some already down there in the Caribbean, and then there's ones guarding the port, but I guarantee you there's probably some over in South Korea and India. So I was like, well, now I don't really have to be that scared of being tackled by a horde. And I could focus on just getting encirclements. And then Yugoslavia was puppeted by Romania through that war. And like I said, at this point, as soon as all my Red Army got there, It was all about encirclement, encirclement, encirclement. And you're going to see later on that I follow the coast. I literally try to follow the coast all the way down to Florida and Miami and Key West and that kind of stuff. But you'll see here. And we actually do manage to pull off a lot of encirclements throughout this war, or at least when we hit the United States, or during our invasion of the United States. And I also mentioned that this is going to kind of turn into a man in the high castle situation, but there is no, Japanese side of the United States. So also, we need to decide exactly when will be the end point for this series. When do we say, you know what, we've won? There's no way. And the only other person I can really think of that would be the main target here would be Russia, which, depending on what you guys think, I mean, we're going to capitulate probably the United States sometime soon. Hopefully in the next episode. And again, I want to keep checking that naval invasion, just making sure. I wanted to see if I had any divisions training. That way, if we really needed to, we could just rapidly deploy them. But yeah, like I said, we need to decide an endpoint for this game, because at this point, it's getting to the, we need to decide. Do I take Russia and then I call it, or I don't know. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think. But in this case, we don't really have much left. Once the United States has fallen, there goes NATO. NATO is no longer a thing, and we'll have to only focus on Russia. And because China's already in our faction, we need to either decide to kick them out of the faction completely, or we just coexist. So, as of right now, I am planning on hopefully Russia being pretty much the end of it. I don't really see a need to invade Italy. I don't really see a need to take over Africa or anything like that. So, I don't know. We kind of need to decide what's the plan. I was trying to tell him to hold so that he could encircle that division over in Savannah. And I went ahead and said, "Hey, let's go take Atlanta." And you can see that, like, because I'm so quick, nobody can kind of stop me from taking all these units and these tiles. And again, because like I said, they don't have as many divisions as I thought they did over in the United States. So there's, like I said, there's nothing to stop me. And you'll see towards the end of the video, they start to kind of make a wall. I think it's because everyone from California finally did arrive on the East Coast to protect. But you'll see here I finish up Charleston and I finish up Savannah. And eventually I get the idea to go ahead and split the United States into two. And you're going to see I'm going to take Washington in this episode. And that is a big deal. Especially considering that it's 2008. Didn't think that this game was going to... I didn't think I was going to go to war with the United States this early, if I'm being honest. So anyway, this is when I'm like, you know what? I see the opening for for Jacksonville, Orlando, going all the way down to Miami, to the Key West, and that kind of stuff. And even going back up through Tampa, Sarasota, and taking all of the Florida Peninsula. And I figured the one division, the infantry, could go ahead and take the Panama City, and that way just completely splitting off Florida from the rest of the United States. So it allows us to focus on the main part of Florida and, in a way, we did invade Italy. We took Rome. So, alright, we're going to take Baltimore, And we're just going to go up the East Coast. Like I said, we are literally spreading out. We're trying to encircle as much as possible. I cannot stress that enough, how important that is to just encircle, encircle, encircle. Because at the point, they're going to have no divisions. And I also realized we are going to have to go all the way to California, unfortunately. And that's just going to take a long time. And I was trying to see if I could cut off that division real quick, if I could just kind of spearhead through. And again, every little province counts. And of course, we don't have that many divisions, so encircling them is going to be our biggest friend here. And eventually, we are going to hit Canada, so we're going to have to set a division behind just to kind of hold the line and what's what I'm looking for. Keep them at bay and prevent them from taking back the United States. All right, but let's see here. And you can see that the United States is sending people over because this guy in Dothan, he just showed up randomly. But we're really trying to kill that pocket in Savannah. I think right there I was checking to see if the recording was still on and everything like that. But I think we do get this encirclement in Palm Bay. Just barely. Because the minute we step in, he retreats. So we get the encirclement there. And we go ahead and finish off Florida. Alright, so we're going to get to the point where we're not going to have to worry about the Caribbean. We're not going to have to worry about the East Coast at all. And honestly, at this point, I'm not really concerned about a naval invasion in Germany, like the homeland. Because seriously, I mean, it's really like, who's going to prevent me from doing that? Or prevent, like, who's going to naval invade me? Especially when I'm in their mainland and everything like that. We're not really seeing a threat. And I do get kind of careless. I do get encircled here. And as you can see there, I was trying to look at the casualties of the war. Just kind of trying to see exactly the rough estimate of how many I've lost and how many they've lost. And again, I was trying to check this because I feel like we had done so many encirclements on the United States that I felt that we did do a difference, and in a way we did. And you're going to see me pick off this 3 encirclement right here. And again, every division counts. You can't forget that every single division counts. And then here I finished taking over the Maryland Peninsula. So let's see. I think I just kind of set up everything. And again, I'm looking at every single place I can make a little tiny encirclement, because... Let's see. Oh, and I was looking at the capitulation percentage, because I didn't know exactly if I was going to have to go all the way to Los Angeles, but I am going to have to, regardless. Just because in the Millennium Dawn mod, in case you guys haven't noticed, every single victory point that would be like super important victory point does not count at all. So, as much as it sucks, I kind of have to... I have to just take every single one. And you might have noticed that even for Austria, I had to scrape the country barrel in a way, because there was just... The victory points just, for some reason, are a lot. And you can see I'm going to take Pennsylvania or Philadelphia. But I think I'm going to go ahead in the episode here. And I want to say thank you all so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe if you guys did enjoy. And I do apologize that that the audio cut out on the first one I posted. But yeah, hopefully this voiceover was okay. And I will see you all in the next episode. Peace.